When there was huge political instability in India, leaders left us. India was going in a negative direction, international pressure, wars, deaths of prime ministers. There was not a definite way of India for India. Then there was a birth of hero. On the backdrop, a hero was born. He took the nations on his shoulders and flew with his wings of fire. Who am I talking about? Our very own missile man of India, Dr. Abul Pakir Jainal Abidin Abdul Kalam. A very, very warm welcome to Study IQ. I hope you all are doing well. My name is Siddhant Agnihotri. So, what we're gonna do? We are going to review his autobiography, that is Wings of Fire. And this lecture will be in two parts, and that is the first part. It is the English version of this. Hindi version had already been uploaded, so those who are very much comfortable in Hindi language can refer to that. And those who want to listen in English, stay tuned with me. It's gonna be fun. We will going to take a deep look on every aspect of Dr. Kalam sir. Yes. So, review of the autobiography of Kalam sir, Wings of Fire, Part 1 by Siddhant Agnihotri by me. Let's get proceeded. Okay, so these are the things we are going to discuss. First, his childhood and his journey towards his success, and everything. How was he as a scientist, as an engineer? See, well, I just want to raise a point here. Kalam sir was not only a great scientist. Yes, he was. Not only a great president of India, not only a great scientific advisor, not only a great teacher, but the most important thing, he was a great human being. This is a primary thing. All the things are secondary, but the primary thing is he was a great human being. He had a tremendous respect towards humanity. He was very honest. And had Kalam sir not been here, India would have not been a great defense power. Right now, India is a great defense power, great weaponry. We are actually manufacturing some of the greatest weapons, and also with the collaboration with other countries, we are doing some projects, and that is all possible because of Kalam sir. Yes, whether it is Agni, it is BrahMos, everything, because he was the leader. He conducted the whole missile program of India. That we will see in later slides. Yes, again, third point, missile history of India. Now that is very interesting. You will get to know everything about the nuclear history, the missile history, energy, NPT, everything. I'm going to cover in a very brief manner. And the last point, but not the least, India in the world. What is India today? How is the defense system of India in the world today? And what is the stance of India? Right? So we will all going to see in a very broad way. For the time being, I'm just going to start with my discussion. These are the facts. Just take a screenshot of it. It is quite important for the exam perspective, and also I hope you all know it. APJ Abdul Kalam, full name Avul Pakir Jainal Abidin. Jainal Abidin was basically his father. Avul Pakir were his forefathers. Born on 15th October 1931 on Rameshwaram, Pamban, located on the southern coast. Rameshwaram is the southern coast of India. It is the coastal plain, right? So just take a screenshot or note it down according to your wish. Well, childhood, probably one of the greatest phase in anyone's life. You get all the liberties from your parents, special kind of protection from your parents, but and mischief, yes, it is the part of childhood. And now generation innovate their mischiefs. Now children innovates, right? But on the contrary, Kalam sir was very hardworking. He was a very humble person from his since from his childhood. Kalam sir did not belong to a very well-to-do family. Therefore, he had to struggle a lot. Kalam sir, Jainal Abidin, who was his father, was a noble boatman. He did not have any wealth. He did not have any formal education, but he was a very humble. He was a very humble man. He had certain principle, and that is imparted to Kalam. From the very childhood, Kalam were taught to respect others, and that is a base for any hero, right? So what happened that he narrates an incident that one day what happened that there is a huge cyclone comes and took off their boat were destroyed, boat was destroyed, and Kalam sir did not know what to do. Kalam sir's father did not know what to do. So in order to support his family, Kalam sir sold newspapers. He sold tamarind seeds. Great. And there's one more thing that when there was boat, So the work of Kalam sir is, he also supported his father by carrying the boat, by carrying the travelers on the boat from one shore of the island to other. And in that boat there was one book and one cloth. That's it. And when he died in 2015 in Shillong, there was one book and one cloth. It's a coincidence. But the determination, you just see the determination. In between, he used to study. And, uh, you know, um, why he used to study, why the habit of study were imparted to him. It was rooted. You know why? Because of his upbringing. Kalam sir had a great support of his family, of his friends. Two of his friends, Jana Labuddin and Shamsuddin. Jana Labuddin was, sorry, I'm really sorry. It's not Jana Labuddin, it's Jalaluddin. Ahmad Jalaluddin was actually 15-year older to Kalam sir, and Shamsuddin was his cousin, and they were both illiterate. But despite of that, instead of that, still they were very intellectual. They talked to Kalam sir about science, about physics, about country. They used to discuss all these things. So that was very deep rooted in Kalam sir. And it's a great thing because Kalam sir had a tremendous support. Right now, the condition of India is horrible. Yes, if we talk about human resources are being wasted. Had Kalam sir did not get the support, then he would have been sailing the boat. Kalam sir had a tremendous support with his family, but millions of children don't have that much of privilege. You are seeing right now. Anyone can be a scientist. You never know that a street vendor could be the scientist, but because of his situation, because of his family situation, he's not able to utilize, he is not able to capitalize his potential. So there is a wastage of human resources, and government need to do anything. It's the high time that we alert ourselves. Otherwise, there will be a big problem in the future, right? So these things were there. Meanwhile, Kalam sir completed his high school in Schwartz High School at Ramanathapuram. He was enrolled there, and there is an incident. There was an incident when Kalam sir was in fifth class. His best friend was a Brahman. His name was Ramanathan Shastri. So they used to sit together. So at that time, caste discrimination was at its peak. So the teacher comes in the class and spot these two sitting together. He scolds in a very heavy voice. He scolds Kalam sir. Kalam, stand up, sit at the back. You will not going to sit with this Brahman boy. Kalam sir was a very humble person. He immediately he sat up and goes at the back. But what he sees that his friend is crying, badly crying, weeping. So that is a Kalam sir himself laugh that there is so much love of his friend towards him. So that is enough to bring a smile on anyone's face. That's a sweet gesture. Okay, so he narrates an event with full zeal. Okay, now this is a very important phase because this is a path to glory for Kalam sir. Now, there was no high education. You cannot pursue higher education in Ramanathanpuram. So, in order to get higher education, he goes to Tiruchirappalli, right? So, he enrolled in St. Joseph College, completes his 12th, completes his BSc, and at that time he realized that physics is not a subject. See, physics, I just want to talk about physics here. Everything is physics. Now you have to understand everything is physics. Every subjects I'm sorry, every subject emerges from physics. Whether it is psychology, whether it is politics, whether it is his everything is physics. And a nation cannot develop if its physics is not developed. You got to develop the physics. Otherwise, nation will get drowned. You can see the practical example. USA, Germany, physics is developed, and that's why they are developing. So, and the applied branch of physics is engineering. When you apply physics, that is engineering. So, Kalam sir immediately realized that it is not his subject because physics is very broad. I have to do something in the engineering field. So what he do? He gave the entrance examination of Madras Institute of Technology, MIT, not Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Madras Institute of Technology, and enrolled there. Selected, but did not have the money. What to do? Because I already told you that Kalam sir did not belong to a very well-to-do family, but he was very talented. Did not have any money. Now what? His sister Zohra sold her bangles, golden chain, in order to support Kalam sir, and that really impacted Kalam sir. And at that time, he thought, I'm going to work with full zeal. I'm going to, I'm just going to work hard. So you see the support. Can you see the support? How much support he is getting from everyone? Great. That is a great. And actually, God is helping. God is always there for the weakers, right? So these things happened, and there were Kalam sir had a dream of becoming Air Force pilot, Air Force fighter pilot, or get enrolled in engineering in Air Force. I mean, he wanted to become aeronautical engineer in Air Force, because there was two decommissioned the aircraft in the Saint Joseph, in the MIT. Sorry, he used to sit there all day long and stare at that aircrafts. He just wanted to fly both the aircrafts. He thought, I wish I could have the wings of fire. Right? When he graduated from his university, Madras Institute of Technology, there were two opportunities for him. Two recruitment came. One was the Air Force, and second was the DTP. For Air Force, he went to Dehradun. There was a batch of 22 students, 22 competitors, and 8 has to be selected. Kalam sir was ninth, missed by a margin. So disappointed. His dream was crushed. And Kalam sir thought that he really wanted to become the Air Force pilot. Was really wanted to become really wanted to become the engineer in Air Force. But seeing this, he was really disappointed. And at that time, he thought my life had just begun. This is the struggle that I'm going to face, and I have to be ready for all of it. He was standing at the cliff. You know, when you are very much distressed, when you are depressed, then you go to God. You visit temple, you pray, you meditate, you take the path of God. So Kalam sir did exactly the same. There was a Shivanand ashram there. He went there. He met Swami Shivanand. He explained the concept of life beautifully to Kalam sir. No, what he explained, and that is written in mythology, and that is basically physics. Our mythology, everyone's, in fact, whether it is Quran, it is Bible, or it is Bhagavad Gita, it is totally science. It is totally physics. Yes. So what he told him, that, see boy, accept your destiny. You will get a very good chance. Don't worry, you will create history. But this time, accept your destiny. Okay? See, what you think, you become. What you speak, you become. You just have to understand that our brain is just like a galaxy. There are crores of neurons. Neurons is basically the network in the brain. Information are carried. And every neuron has an electromagnetic wave. There is electromagnetic radiations comes out from your every thought. A penny for your thoughts. You must have heard the quote. Electromagnetic radiation comes from your every thought, and usually man has about 1 lakh thoughts throughout a day. So these radiations, these electromagnetic waves, gets mingled with the universe. Universe has certain frequency, and your your thought has certain frequency. They both get mixed. They superimpose with each other, and when they superimpose, they comes back to you. So if you will be positive, positive things will be happen. Positive things will happen. And if you will be negative, negative things will happen. Just stay positive, just stay calm. You will going to get everything at the right time. Don't worry. Just accept your destiny right now. Work hard, work on yourself. And that really impacted Kalam sir. At that time, he thought, yes, these are not rubbish things. Prayers are not rubbish. Basically, it is physics. So Kalam sir was appointed as a senior scientific advisor in DTP. That is basically the subsidiary of Defense Ministry, right? He went there, really worked hard. Now, the rising. Well, actually, I have explained everything in the previous slide, right? Whatever I had explained previously, just now, it is written in that slide. You know, he was enrolled in DTP. He was appointed as a senior scientific advisor in DTP. He went to Dehradun for Air Force interview, right? So actually, it is this slide. The explanation, the my previous explanation belonged to this slide, right? Now, this is the base is ready. This is a movie. You can compare it as a movie. So the base is ready. Now, in order to proceed, in order to get next, you have to understand the everything related to the nuclear history of India. Each and everything you have to understand that what was it like back then, right? So I'm going to cover NPT, Energy and MTCR. What was it? Because without it we cannot proceed further. Missile history is yet to come. Missile is not born in India at that time. So we will going to cover all these things. Now, first of all, we are going to talk about non-proliferation treaty. Now, what was it? What is it? It was opened in 1968 and came into effect in 1970. There was a very discriminatory remark, there was a very discriminatory proposal, and India had a very strong and very right argument about that. And that was, in before 1968, whoever had conducted their nuclear program, whoever had conducted their nuclear test, those are the nuclear nations. And after 1968, nobody will be the nuclear nation if you will sign that treaty, because you are barred, you are restricted to conduct any nuclear program. And that really annoyed, that really agitated India. What the hell? No, this is total discrimination. You are assigning a date, you are giving a date, and the whole agenda is on date. And the nations who had conducted their nuclear program before this date were United Nations permanent member: China, UK, Russia, USA, France. Only 5 nations had tested their nuclear weapons, and those were designated as nuclear state. So India was really agitated. India was really annoyed that no, we are not going to sign. It is total discrimination. We are not going to sign. And right now, 191 states had signed the nuclear this NPT, and only 5 nations, that is Pakistan, that is South Sudan, that is India, that is Israel, and the last one is North Korea. North Korea is a mad country. He had signed in 1985. Can you believe it? But did not follow any of the instructions. So he withdrew in 2003. North Korea is a mad country. We are not going to waste any time to talk about that foolish country, right? So this was the story. Now, India did not sign at that time. After 25 years, there was a review of this treaty. In 1995, everyone sat at the bench, in New York, and they accepted one proposal of India, and that was a sigh of relief for India. They told India that okay, everyone will going to dispose their nuclear weapon, but we will not going to tell you the date. India said, are you joking? You are not going to tell us the date when you will dispose after a century, after 1,000 years. This is again a joke. But that was a sigh of relief. At least they have accepted some of the provisions, but they were not telling the date. Again, India said, I'm not going to sign. And the treaty was again hanging in the middle. So that was really annoying for India. And then what happens in 1998? There was 2 nuclear tests for India. In 1974, Operation Laughing Buddha, Indira Gandhi conducted. Then in 1998, Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. In 1998, Pokhran, I'm sorry, Pokhran nuclear test in 1998. In 1998, when India conducted this, there was already an international pressure on India, right? When India conducted the nuclear test, see, right now the dynamics of the world had changed. It had changed drastically. USA was not a firm supporter to Pakistan, now it is. So the dynamics had changed. In 1998, USA raised an objection. He scared India the hell out of it. He scolded India. Listen, India, you are conducting the nuclear test. We are not going to leave you. We will destroy you. We will take away all your missile and you will pay for it. Stop it right now. India replied, go to hell. We will going to do everything. We will going to conduct nuclear test. Our neighbors are Pakistan and China threatening us day by day. We are not going to stop at it. There will be future nuclear tests. Do what you want to do. America said, oh, wow, man, that is great. India has grown up now. Come here, India, come here, come here. I want to make you understand something. So he calls India. I'm sorry. So all the authorities goes to USA, went to USA in order to negotiate. USA put his hand on the shoulders of India and said, listen, okay, just do your nuclear test. I agree. Okay, but make a doctrine, make a principle. India had made a doctrine. Yes, he had made a doctrine, he had made a complete principles. Again, USA added, don't attack on someone, use this nuclear program for peaceful energy. India agreed. Don't attack any country, support others. India agreed. Just make a rule book of it. India agreed. Now there is a twist. On the other hand, there is Pakistan. He don't have any doctrine. He don't have any. Pakistan is not at all a responsible state. You are seeing the condition in Islamabad right now. Now, what happened? Pakistan had said sometimes before, I think in 2013 or 2014, I didn't remember the exact date. We had made a nuclear warhead. Now, nuclear warhead is actually a nuclear weapons that is resorted, that is targeted on a specific locations, right? So there are a small nuclear warhead, and we will going to destroy everyone. India said in a loud voice, look, Pakistan, just read my last provision, and that is disproportionate war. We will not going to any country first, but if any country attacks us, we will going to destroy it. You will not be able to escape. And that is a principle of India. Not me. We will not going to attack first. But if you will attack by anyhow, we will not going to leave you, man. That is the principle of India. And that is the NPT. That is the story of NPT. In a very, right now I don't have any time. It's there are very, although the history is very wrong, but this is the basic. So you can write, if the question comes, you can write in 1 or 2 pages. That is good. Now, talking about NPT, there is energy nuclear supplier group. Now you need a fuel in order to run your nuclear programs. Just like that, you need petrol to run your vehicles. At the same way, you need uranium in order to conduct your nuclear program. Now, what happens? India is not a part of energy group. Now, in energy group there are 48 nations, and in 2015, China used its veto power, and he was arguing that Pakistan, if India is coming to energy, Pakistan should also join. Are you kidding me? Pakistan is not at all a responsible nation. We proved that we are a responsible nuclear nation everywhere in the world. That's why we are respected in international fraternity. Pakistan is not respected. How can any country argue that the country like Pakistan should come in energy? How? That was the only argument. China is a selfish country, all know. है ना? So it's like that. and India was not a part, did not become the part of NHC because of the China. Had India became the part, then the nuclear fuel would have available very easily for India, because you need to have, and India did not have any nuclear reserve. That is a big irony for India. So, and then there is MTCR. In 2015, it is a very good news that India became the part of MTCR. It is basically the Missile Technology Control Regime. Now, what it does, MTCR is nothing but there are certain technology, there are certain missile technology, there are certain missile rocket science involved in this, and the nation is not allowed to give them to any other country until and unless you become the member of MTCR. So by signing MTCR, India is entitled to get the weapons, India is entitled to get the weaponry. So that is a good news. But India did not sign NPT and will not sign ever. He is not the member of NSG, but soon you will see that India will become a member because everyone is agreeing, right? And China is absolutely wrong. Okay, so this is the last slide of mine. Vikram Sarabhai and Satish Dhawan. Kalam sir might be the lead hero in this movie, but the director and producers is Vikram Sarabhai and Satish Dhawan. Vikram Sarabhai is known as the father of Indian space program. ISRO was earlier called Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. So that was a great thing, right? Satish Dhawan is a multi-talented, his PhD, his MSc, his MA, and they both groomed APJ Abdul Kalam. They both groomed. In fact, APJ Abdul Kalam calls Sarabhai that he's the Mahatma Gandhi of Indian nuclear program, of Indian space program. And they were both like father figures to him. Just read it about these great personalities, these great scientists, right? So these are basically the directors and producers. They chose Kalam sir as a leader. They knew that this person, only this person can uplift India, no one else. So that is a big difference, right? So just read it about Vikram Sarabhai and Satish Dhawan. I'm really sorry, I'm not going to elaborate it further because there will be a very, then the lecture will be very long. Okay. So this is the end of part 1. I hope you enjoyed it a lot, but this is the interval. The next part will be amazing because we will going to cover the entire missile history of India. What was it like then and how was India at that time? You know, how he conducted, why he actually conducted, why there was a need of implementing the missile program of India, and the failures also. So we will cover all, I'm going to cover all these things in a very broad way. Just stay tuned, be well, be good, and keep watching Study IQ. This is Siddhant Agnotri signing off.